just wanted to try on a wedding dress. I was 50 years old. I had a 14-year-old son, but I had never been married. And more important to me, I had never been a bride. And so this need to sort of indulge in bridal things didn't come from some deep-seated resentment. I just thought it'd be really cool to go have like a cake tasting or something. And I have friends who don't let an idea like that go by. So before I knew it, a date was set and I was going to go try on a wedding dress. And the plan was that we would all meet at our friend Loretta's house and have a sleepover. And then the next day, we would get up and drive to a nearby bridal salon, which Loretta assured me was just tacky enough to allow for drop-ins. And I felt like this was like a truly life-affirming, Oprah-approved event that we were about to embark on. And I was in really high spirits. And the weekend of the event, I drove to Loretta's house, and she has just gone above and beyond. She has decorated for a bridal shower. And she has everything, including a life-sized groom balloon that you sit on the floor like a punching bag. So she's making signature cocktails. I'm opening gag gifts. We're having a great time. And now high spirits have gone literally to hilarity, and we are cackling. And it is that sort of signature cackle that has garnered for this particular group of girls the affectionate nickname, the Coven. So the Coven is in rare form, and everybody's having a wonderful time, but the longer the night goes on, the more nervous I get. And this little nudgy voice in the back is telling me I can't pull this off. And I express my fears, and 5 women say, "You're doing it." Okay? And I said, well, I don't even have an engagement ring, and someone, I swear to God, passes down a fake engagement ring. And then I said, well, who am I marrying? Who's my fiance? I have to at least have some backstory. And the answer was, you're marrying this really arty guy named Jackson. Jackson is my beloved dead cat, so I know they've lost their minds, and I also know I'm doing this, right? So we get up the next morning, it's a gorgeous spring day, and we drive to a bridal salon, and I know this is not accurate, but this is how I remember it, that it was like painted pink and there were swans swimming in a pond. It was very retro, very cute, and we go inside, the 6 of us, and we're met by a woman with a lovely British accent whose name is Sandy, and it's on. And I say, hello, Sandy. I just got engaged. This is my bridal party. Jackson and I are very simple people. We probably won't get married traditionally. We'll probably get married on a beach or a farm or something like that. And I will not buy a gown today. But just for fun, we're here to celebrate, and I'd like to try on a couple really simple gowns. At which point, Sandy begins to get out the biggest dresses I've ever seen in my life. And she puts the Coven in the waiting room and sends me off by myself with a 12-year-old dresser. I'm shaking, I'm scared, and she's bombarding me with questions. How did you meet Jackson? How long have you known him? Does your family like him? Does his family like you? How did he propose? Was it romantic? Tell me the whole story. I was so scared trying to meet that improv moment. I broke out in hives, and I had little splotches of red all over me. And then to make it worse, Sandy comes in to help dress me because they're putting on me an Elizabethan gown that is lacing up the sleeves, it laces up the front like a corset down the back. It takes 2 people to put me in it. I'm walking like this, and I get out to where the Coven is, and this is where you get to the part of the story that Loretta calls shit you can't make up, all right? They are arguing over who deserves to be my maid of honor, okay? So I'm like, all right, no help here, so I go back into the room. I put on now this cotillion-worthy gown with the ruffles, and I can hear the Coven cackling. And I'm like, now what are they doing? So I go out. Now they're playing dress up. One of them has put on a bridesmaid's dress, and they're pretend fighting that they hate her because she's thin enough to wear a dress off the rack. Right? So they're laughing, Sandy's laughing, the 12-year-old's laughing, the other brides are laughing, their mothers are laughing. Everybody's having a great time because of those 5 women. And when I look at them, I realize you couldn't love women more than I love them at that moment. And one of them looks at me with this, look that says, "This is so fun, and this is all for you." And that's how I knew I was a bride, okay? But Sandy wasn't going to let us go without buying a dress. And by the time we got out of there, I was making my friends tip her like a waitress. And when we got home, dragging my groom balloon, I'm exhausted, but I've had a fabulous day. End of story, right? No. 2 weeks later, I get home from work and I have a message on my answering machine with this familiar British accent. "Hello, this is just Sandy calling to find out what you're going to do about the dress." And I freak out. I'm shaking. I'm so scared. And I call Loretta. "What am I going to do? What am I going to do?" Sandy just called. And you have to hear Loretta's voice. It's this low, husky, cut through the hysteria voice. "What do you mean, what are you going to do? You don't have to do anything. It's a message." And I said, "But she's going to call back. What am I going to do?" And she says, "Kill him. Kill Jackson. Break up with him, just end it, put an end to it." Okay? And so I tell her I will, but I get off the phone, and this is the God's truth. I realize I won't. Because in the end, even pretend love is better than no love at all. And no, you don't kill hope. You don't kill hope. So the next time she called, and that woman called me again, I put on my big girl pants and I said, "Sandy, as I told you, Jackson and I are simple people. We are not having a traditional wedding, but if I did, I would buy my dress from you. Thank you for the best day of my life."